Wow. This is insane. This is okay. This is some serious accusations. Wow. What the hell? Okay, so in this video we will be talking about the biggest NFT sale ever and why it might actually not be an NFT. Beeple, the ultimate artist, the greatest of all time, or at least that's how it seems at this moment. The symbol of NFT space might actually not have sold an NFT, and Christie's might not be the auction house, the first major auction house to sell an NFT. So let's start off with the beginning of this article, which is of course the title. This might be actually interesting. This was in 69, I cannot pronounce 69, not 96, $69 million marketing stunt. Why crypto purists say Beeple's Mega Millions NFT isn't actually an NFT at all. So look, this is always the case, in the beginning of something, in this case NFT, there's a discussion about what it is, and people seem to find it very important to have some kind of definition that is correct and that everybody follows that definition for some reason. But the truth is that definitions don't get formed initially, they get formed through the process and oftentimes even just after the process. If you look at major art movements and you look at how they were called all the way in the beginning of the movement, you oftentimes have something completely different than what it is called now. And so definitions are kind of BS to start off with. But let's take a look to let's read the article first, Yeah. So here you already have it, continuous debate about what exactly qualifies as an NFT, why those characteristics matters, blah, 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 blah. I mean, does it really matter what qualifies and what doesn't qualify? I mean, it's the definitions that I gave in some of my YouTube videos are also just definitions that I came up with at that moment of making the video, knowing very well that it's not an official definition. There's no such thing as an official definition at this moment. Okay, wow, this is serious stuff. This is some serious stuff. Okay, the way Christie's conducted the sale, Everyday's invalidated any claim to its be non-fungible token. Okay, look, man, I cannot even read. This is just reading out loud and somehow. Anyway, so this is some serious stuff. I don't really know what they mean with this. And I definitely thought it was a non-fungible token for sure. But apparently there is there should be a claim that Beeple's sale is not even a non-fungible token at all. Let's read some further. So on one hand, Christie's role in facilitating the sale of Beeple's work was seen as a powerful validation of the NFT space by very late adopters such as ourselves and the traditional art world. Now, true believers, on the other hand, saw this as an attack, saw this as something that is not done because the blockchain used to be or should be or is supposed to be eliminating all the gatekeepers, eliminating the middleman. And so these true believers, they don't like the fact that Christie's facilitates that sale. And in their eyes, anytime an auction house is going to facilitate an NFT sale, that includes, by the way, all of these NFT marketplaces that we've stand up in other videos. I mean, anytime that those people do something, then it is illegitimate and it's not true, hardcore, pure NFT stuff. And so because of that, this whole sale is apparently not an NFT. Now, this is human psychology. Human psychology, I oftentimes say this, never changes. Technologies change. At some point, people read books and then suddenly the internet comes along and they read internet pages and all of that stuff. I mean, technology changes, but the human psychology, the way humans behave, never change. And so we see this here as well. There are some very early die-hard OGs that believe in crypto, that believe in the NFT space, that believe in blockchain. They're very early and they see something, they see a particular world, they see a particular type of interactions among these OG people, among these die-hard people, and they form expectations based on that early activity of what the NFT space will be, of what blockchain will be, of how the world will evolve. And of course, these expectations are completely wrong and complete BS, and it will never be that way. And so always, every single time that technology changes, we see the early OGs complaining, or at least some of them complaining about the newcomers. Hey, these new people, they're screwing it up, they're screwing out the party, it's supposed to be this way, etc, etc, etc. And so this is happening again. Okay, here it becomes more... Now I finally start to understand the essence of the article really. So what we have here is interesting. Normally when there's a transaction on the blockchain, when an artwork is sold on the blockchain, when an NFT is sold on the blockchain, there are, traditionally speaking, 3 phases. Number 1 is the minting of the NFT, the minting of the artwork. And then number 2 is the sale, the transaction that actually occurs, where money, or in this case Ethereum, exchanges hands. The second part is very important, where the transaction actually takes place on the blockchain itself. So this is crucial because apparently this person, Nicole, and several other people from the Friends with Benefits members, whatever that means, is some kind of sex cult or something, an NFT sex cult, not sure what it is. Anyway, so they, and this is very important, they saw that apparently 36 hours afterwards, the sale was not, or had not taken place yet on the blockchain itself, on the Ethereum network. And so what happened was that Christie's made that sale, they got the money, somebody paid them that money, and it didn't happen on the blockchain. And so that is why Nicole and these people from the Friends with Benefit members group, which has nothing to do with any sexually related things, they saw that didn't happen on the blockchain. So they saw that this didn't happen on the blockchain, meaning that this is just a regular sale almost. That this is not really an NFT indeed, or not really crypto art, or that the best part of NFT, the best part of the whole crypto experience, which is that all the transactions are recorded on the blockchain, didn't even took place. And so the only reason that you would use the blockchain, the only reason that you would create an NFT in the first place, is to have those transactions stored so that people can go back towards those transactions, so that those transactions can actually be publicly available, which is one of the rules of NFT, which is one of the rules of the whole blockchain experience. Transactions that are publicly available for everyone, so complete transparency. This did not happen. This did not take place in the whole Christie's thing. And so this is huge, because in that scenario, if this is actually true, if 36 hours after the sale took place, it was still not recorded on the blockchain, then it's very hard to make the claim that this is indeed an NFT that is being sold. I understand I'm not a purist like them, but I understand where they come from, and to some degree I do agree with them. I mean, why would you use the blockchain if you're not going to use the blockchain? Makes no sense. And then it's very easy to think that this is all one big publicity stunt, that this has nothing to do with NFTs, nothing to do with non-fungible tokens, nothing to do with art, but just with publicity. It's possible, yeah? Okay, so this is again some real stuff. This is becoming more and more interesting. I mean, so this is a good question. Why pay a fee to insert a classic art market middleman, like for example Christie's, into the whole NFT sale, when NFTs were engineered in a large part to eliminate the dependence of a middleman, to eliminate people like Christie's, to eliminate Sotheby's and things like that. And so this is a very, because the fees that Christie's and Sotheby's, and so they have buyer fees and seller fees and all types of fees. I once read a book about it. I read 2 books about it actually, and I don't remember exactly, but the fees are insane. We're talking about, like, in total, buyer and seller and every other fee, we're talking about fees that are larger than 20%, depending also on the value of the artwork. The more expensive the artwork is, the less fee percentage-wise you are going to take, which is kind of logic. If the artwork is worth 1 million and your fee is 10%, that's 100,000. If the artwork is 10 million and your fee is a little bit less, 9%, 8%, you're still going to make insane amounts of money, because you're going to make, 8%, 800,000 multiplied by 10, no, 80,000, whatever, my math is off, doesn't matter, you get the point. The higher the artwork value, the lesser the fees. And so it's around 20%, something like that, which is huge. And so why would you do that? Why would you go and see with Christie's and pay those insane fees when I actually didn't knew this. I thought that Beeple went with Christie's, and that Christie's for once didn't took any fees, because it was on the blockchain that Christie's wanted to have that publicity thing. But here in this article on ArtNet, which is a respectable source, they suggest that didn't happen. That indeed Beeple paid fees to Christie's, which makes it no sense. And so this is massive. Look, think about it. This is massive. Because at this moment the Beeple sale of $69 million is the symbol of the NFT space. It's the symbol of the NFT market. And it will be the symbol of the NFT market for the next couple of years, because all the publicity around it. 69 million. I mean, the amount of articles written about that is hundreds, thousands. The amount of YouTube videos, hundreds, thousands, whatever. I don't know exactly how many, but a lot. And so if this used a middleman and did not use the blockchain, then this symbol of the NFT space is indeed not an NFT. It's not a non-fungible token. It's just a regular photograph of an artwork or a JPEG file of a digital artwork that has been sold in the traditional way, not in a new way. NFTs are the new way of selling stuff. This is the new platform, the Copernican shift in the art markets. But perhaps it isn't. And why would you pick Christie's? This is the oldest auction house out there. I don't know when. Let's Christie's. Let's take a look when they started. Christie's Wikipedia. 1766. Okay, so this is in Dutch, so that's my language. I'm sorry, but anyway, we're going to skip that. So 1766 in London. That's where it started. Okay, so for those of you who don't trust me, search it up yourself. 1766. So this is one of the oldest houses. Why would you, in God's name, use one of the oldest houses that is so rooted in a traditional way of doing stuff to promote the newest way of doing stuff? Look, this is the way that Christie's gets grip of all of this, of course, and this is the way that they will start to manipulate this space and also take control over the whole NFT space. I mean, this is massive. This is massive for sure. Yeah, here's some good questions again. Where was the transparency and accountability if the competition for the token would all unfold off-chain, off the blockchain? This is a good question. I mean, I don't have an answer for that, of course, nobody has. Even if you will accept Christie's presence, even if you indeed accept Christie's presence, how could their old school process legitimize an actual NFT sale? Their old school process is the definition of the opposite of an NFT sale, indeed. And so this is very strange stuff. And so here we have some interesting stuff, So what happened is that the sale took place. Christie's took the money from Metakovan and Troubadour. Those are apparently the buyers. And they took that money, and then they had to manually put that in the blockchain somehow. I also don't know how they would do that manually after this. It's strange. So they had to do that manually, meaning that you can question this, why it happens like this. This is very strange. Very, very strange. Very strange. Very strange, that's it. So 38 hours after the virtual hammer came down on Christie's, the NFT was officially technically complete. Now this is indeed crazy fast in the traditional art world. I mean, 38 hours, normally that takes a very long time. But on the blockchain, it would have been seconds, minutes max, And so yeah, this is the major question. This might actually become the title of this video, I'm not sure. Should the $69 million sale done by Christie's be considered historically the first major NFT sale done by a major auction house? The answer is probably no. The answer is probably no, even though I don't know, actually. I don't know. This is, I understand the purists. Perhaps they're a little bit too extreme. This is definitely, I mean, even if it's slower, even if it's, they did account for everything on the blockchain eventually. And so it's definitely 100% the first NFT sold by a major auction house. There's no doubt about it. But indeed, yeah, it is strange, to say at least. Strange. There's definitely some publicity going on, more than we can know. Or perhaps I changed my mind. Look, I'm reading the next paragraph after what I just said, and after reading this paragraph, I'm again kind of in line with them. One of the big parts of the whole blockchain is on-chain transparency, just like it's here, on-chain transparency. I do agree with that. On-chain transparency is essential, and having a middleman that will decide if something comes on-chain or not, that is probably not the most transparent process that you can have. And so it's definitely open for debate. Some people think it's a PR event, Hey, hello, it's most definitely a PR event. Of course it's a PR event. What do you want? There's a major hype going on around NFTs. Everybody jumps on it. And so obviously an auction house also jumps on it, also wants to have that wave of publicity coming their way. So of course it's a PR event. It's always a PR event, partially at least. Nothing wrong with that, you know? Wow. This is insane. This is some serious accusations. Wow. What the hell? Okay, so wow, this is, I'm not sure what to think about this. I know some people who are connected, deeply connected in the art world, as in deeply connected. That's all I'm going to say about it. And some of them also told me that this was all one big show, and that this was pre-arranged, that the buyer already was known before the sale ever happened, and the $69 million was just one big show, one big theater show, because everybody involved already knew how it would turn out. And I was pretty skeptic when I heard them say those things, but apparently here, wow, this is some major stuff. Apparently here there was some other rumors around that confirming this thing that I heard. And there's one tweet by crypto entrepreneur Justin Sun, who allegedly, according to him, made a bid of $70 million for the Everyday's NFT, but it was not accepted by Christie's system despite being submitted 30 seconds to spare, with 30 seconds to spare in the timed auction. And so apparently he made a bid of $70 million, but it was not accepted. $70 million is, of course, if my math is correct, higher than $69 million. And so he should have had this artwork. He should have had it. I mean, like, is it possible that Justin Sun just wants to jump on the hype himself and tweet those things? Sure, but why would you do that if you're already that rich, if you're already that successful? If PR is not something that you're particularly concerned about, why would you say this? Why would you, I don't know. So we have a response of Christie's. Let me read it out loud as well, because I mean, they definitely deserve a response. The elements that make an NFT are the uniquely encrypted entity incapable of duplication that the digital asset becomes once minted, as well as its distinctive placement on the blockchain assigned thereafter. They call it thereafter. The manner of transaction should not impact its classification so long as the final transactions are recorded on the blockchain. To some extent, I agree with them, as long as it is recorded on the blockchain, but the fact that there's an intermediary person going on there, that is definitely a problem. And the whole $70 million thing, if this would have been an auction that took place on the blockchain itself, with transactions lively recorded on that chain, that would have never happened, of course. 30 seconds is very close to the end. That's very close to the end. So it's kind of strange to think why he would wait that long, but then again, if you cannot bid until 30 seconds before it, and then why would you call that 30 seconds before the end and just call it the end, you know? So that's that's that. Anyway, in order to make this video complete, we should be talking about the alternatives to Christie's. What if you don't want to sell through Christie's, or what if you're not allowed, like most artists, like me, myself included, of course? What's the alternative? What marketplaces exist, and what are the best marketplaces out there? What are the most hyped up marketplaces? What are the most interesting ones? And what are the most underground ones where you will find the next big artists? But talking about that would be a completely different video and another 15 minutes at least, and so I'm very sorry, but we are not going to do that, predominantly because I already did. It's called 10 best art market, no, that's not what it's called, 10 best crypto art marketplaces of 2021. And you could be watching it right now. Hope to see you there. Ciao, ciao.